Brooklyn Independent Television.
Run by husband and wife team Bryant, Calvert, and Deborah Williamson, James is a small and sophisticated restaurant specializing in new American fare. Dishes like Carolina shrimp with roasted garlic polenta, which takes the place of shrimp and grits, are delectable and refined. Anyone else getting hungry?
Brian Calvert, and you're at James in Prospect Heights. We opened James about 3.5 years ago. I opened it with my wife, Deborah Williamson. I run the kitchen, she runs the front of the house. We were looking for a space in Brooklyn for a restaurant for quite some time. This was an existing restaurant also, which we happen to live above. When the owners of the previous restaurant decided to sell the restaurant, it really worked out well for us.
The way we came about opening James, Brian had been in the neighborhood in Prospect Heights for, 10 or 12 years. We had another business that we were running together, and we were looking for a restaurant space, specifically in the neighborhood. And we got lucky. We got the keys in March of 2008, and we opened in June. It's been a crazy 4 years and a total passion project for us. And we're huge Brooklyn fans and love this neighborhood in particular. So we have a great affinity for all of our neighbors and the whole scene here. So it's a special place for us.
When I first moved here, I was a poor, struggling cook. The neighborhood really changed with my career, and there wasn't that much kind of like casual seasonal American fare here. The neighborhood really wasn't ready for it back then. And as I became a chef and worked in different places in Manhattan and finally was ready for my own restaurant, luckily the neighborhood was ready too. And I was so happy that it all worked out because I really love this neighborhood. It's really my home, and I've been here for a long time and don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
We offer seasonal American, farm-to-table, market-driven selections. So on any given week, the menu will be changing.
We have a few dishes that people really enjoy. I kind of consider specialties. We have a really beautiful spinach salad that's been on the menu for a long time. Of course, the burger is always really popular, 8-ounce Black Angus burger. We also have a really nice cheesecake for dessert that people love. Today we're going to be preparing sauteed shrimp with garlic polenta and a harissa broth. Harissa broth is basically a shrimp stock infused with aromatics and harissa. First, I'm going to take a hot saucepan and add some shrimp shells to it. I have some spring garlic, some lemongrass, fennel seed, chopped tomatoes, and a little bit of chopped garlic. We're going to sweat all these ingredients together so the flavors really combine. I'm going to add a tiny bit of harissa paste, very spicy, just need a little bit. Deglaze with a little Pernod, and then I'm going to cover this with some vegetable stock. We're going to make a creamy garlic polenta. I'm going to take a little bit of butter and add some polenta. Stir it in the butter. Start adding my vegetable stock, and with a whisk it. You'll end up with something like this. Finish it with some seasonings. The garlic puree is basically roasted garlic that has been cleaned and pureed into a puree. Add a little creme fraiche for some creaminess. So the next step is cooking the shrimp. Vegetable oil. Make sure the pan's hot. We're going to do about 3 or 4 pieces of shrimp. I'm going to season this up. Now here I have my harissa broth, which is finished. And all you need to do is strain this, and you end up with a nice red spicy broth like this. We're going to take a little bit of the broth and deglaze the pan. I'm going to take a little bit of the polenta, place it in the middle of the bowl, take the shrimp, put it on top, pour the broth over the shrimp and the polenta, finish with a little micro beet greens, a little chive oil for some color, sauteed shrimp, with polenta and harissa broth.
The restaurant is named after Bryant's great-grandfather, who came to New York in the mid-1800s, and he and his wife opened a restaurant in Mount Morris, and his name was James, and they ran this lovely little restaurant together. So the name and really the essence of the restaurant is homage to his family members and those culinary roots.
We have a lot of stuff we're working on. We're not quite sure yet where we're going, but I think the neighborhood's changed a lot. There's a lot of new restaurants, which is great, and we welcome more people, more restaurants here, and we'd like to see this community become like a restaurant destination area. So with that being said, who knows what the future will hold.
Follow us on Twitter at BK Independent TV.